It's okay to be yourself. Can't nobody else be you. You shouldn't want to be nobody else. So just love yourself, bro. Go
I love
hard.
that.
Yeah.
He had something on his chest.
I just want people to love themselves, man. We get
A
one
hundred
life,
percent.
bro.
What's up, everybody? This is Uncomfortable Conversations, and I am your host, Jabri Cowan. I brought a dear old friend of mine, and y'all don't know how good it is to see him, but an old friend. We went to middle school together, and we've been chopping it up here and there ever since. Mr. Garrett Woodward, how you doing, brother?
Doing great, buddy. Doing great.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So, just a little background on me and Garrett's relationship. We met in middle school. It was seventh grade year because my sixth grade year when I started, I went to a different school, and I started in this new school, and Garrett was one of the first people to introduce me, man, because I started playing football and he was on the football team, and it was a culture shock for me because here I am coming out of the hood. Like, I only know everybody that's around me is all black and we from the hood and everything. And then I go to this middle school where it's just like literally all white. And I stuck out like a sore thumb, man. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I faced some challenges. I faced some big challenges there. Um, and unfortunately, racism was part of them. I'll tell you one thing. Garrett had stood up for me from the beginning. He was like my first friend there. He did not tolerate that shit, man. And I know I don't cuss a lot on my show, and excuse my language, everybody. But like Garrett was he was my dog, man. Like he defended me through thick and thin, and we shared a relationship with Tupac because we both love Tupac. I gotta tell you, man, he's a dear, great friend of mine, and it's been a while since I've seen him. So this is my first time seeing him, and this is your first time meeting him, and I'm just happy to have him on the show.
Yes, sir, man. You just brought up some memories, man. You don't think about middle school every day, man. That was a while
No,
ago,
you
but it
don't.
feels like all that just happened yesterday, man. Those
Honestly,
good
it
times.
does. Yeah, man. I swear, bro. Wrestling, football, we did it all together. Then
That's what I
you
was
even
about to
did
say.
track.
Yep. That's what I was about to say. We was the first class to put a banner up on the wall for wrestling, undefeated.
Yeah, we sure
Yep.
was undefeated, baby. Yo, I'm
Yes,
telling you,
sir.
man. I got to tell you, it's so good seeing you, man. And I don't really do this type of show often, but today, it's usually more of a discussion, and we'll still have that discussion. But Garrett's on, and he's going to share a lot of his life, a lot of his experience, and a lot of terms of which I can't relate. Um, so it's going to be kind of a whole lot more kind of Q&A, and him just sharing his knowledge, sharing his experience. And I really hope that you guys have a good takeaway from it because it is very inspiring and very eye opening. The little bit of discussing we did to kind of kick off the show. But all right, let's go ahead and dive right in, man. You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
All right, so um, I want you to kind of you already have kind of like a sense of what we're going to be talking about. So I want you to kind of share just kind of like the beginning of your story. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, things like I would say things like weed, stuff like that. That started when I was in fifth grade, pretty much, because I got an older brother. He's 3.5 years older, and all his friends were 3, 4, 5 years older than him, and so it kind of trickled down. I ended up being the 9-year-old. You know what I mean? Hanging out with teenagers smoking weed, pretty much. Um, so that was kind of where I was introduced to it. Unfortunately, with almost everything, nothing really has like a pamphlet, for exactly how things work. You get introduced to it. And then, they say experience is the best teacher. You get introduced to things, and later on you start to learn about it, what you take away from it and stuff. So, knowing what I know now, I realize that weed is it's not a good thing, man. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. It really kind of, how should I say it? I think it takes your drive away. You know, I think it. I think weed gets people stuck in like almost like a fake comfort zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like us. You know, I feel like, bro, we get one life. You know what I'm saying? You got to just keep going and going and going. We get one
yeah,
life, and so I don't want to be stuck anywhere, and I don't want anything to like desensitize the way that we feel. You know what I mean? You
hmm
feel a certain way, you need to feel that way. There's a reason you feel that way, which just means you're at a place to turn something into a stepping stone. And the
yeah.
last thing you
I
want to
like
do
that.
is not turn it into a stepping stone because you're smoking weed. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm
It's just that's how I
Yeah.
feel about that, man. You know, just knowing stuff I know now. Uh,
Do you think it was like something that you kind of did just handle stress, kind of just like cope, man? Just like starting off with when you were smoking weed?
oh no, when I first started, like I said, the first time I smoked weed, I was like 9, maybe 10. So
Yeah.
I didn't know what stress was when I was 9. You know what I mean? It was just older brother doing it, his friends. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that
you
was
just
the
like
first
fitting in.
time. But it probably I probably really didn't start dealing with stress till I was like uh I'd say probably like 14, 13, 14, somewhere around there. Maybe a little, maybe 12, but somewhere around that middle school, definitely middle school, somewhere around that time. And
Yeah.
you know, there's not really, unless you have a solid family, somebody you know you can really trust to talk to. There's not a lot of circuits, routes to go to get rid of stress as a young kid. You know what I mean? So a lot of
Yeah.
things end up getting bottled in, and you eventually you got to grow up and work through it. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much, in in short words, that's pretty much what happened with me, man. Is I had a lot of stuff bottled up, couldn't really express it to anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
100%.
but yeah, I don't know. Stress is I feel like stress is really just, it can be a couple things, you know. That's why I say I don't like things that takes away your drive, your focus, your emotion and stuff, because
Right.
you know, if you get stressed, man, it's more than likely, if it's a real problem, then it's something that needs to be dealt with. Um Unfortunately for me at the time, all my stress came from a problem I couldn't deal with. You know what I mean? It was too young to deal with. But, you know,
hmm
looking back grown now, you know, it's like I said, everything forms to why I feel and think the things I do now. And, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
you got to get through things, man. Nothing, there's never going to be a day in life where just everything stops, all problems stop. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, there's always going to be a next step. You know, even if even if all your problems do like subside, you're still, you don't want to, you don't want to stop growing, man. We get one
Right.
life. I want to impact as many people as I can. That's why I thank
Right.
you for, you know, reaching out to me about this opportunity to talk, man, because you have a platform. And I think that
Right.
I think that most platforms, you know, today aren't used correctly. You know what I mean?
100%.
We could hop on this. You're in Texas and I'm in North Carolina. You know what I mean? We could hop on here and talk about anything, but it's
Yeah.
the importance of getting on here and talking about the right things and spreading that message out to people. Man, I honor you for it, bro. It's great. It's good stuff.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. And thank you because it's brave of you to come on here and share your story and be vulnerable, man. And I think you brought up a great point with stress and not trying to numb it or desensitize it. Because there's good and bad stress, right? And all stress, I feel like you can make that decision to respond and do something about it. Sometimes it makes you good stress or bad stress can make you productive or overproductive, you know what I mean? And you can, at that time, you can show something tangible as a result of your stress. You can create something of it, you know what I mean? Um, so I think that was an excellent point that you brought up about just like trying to just learning your way on how to address it and then respond to
Right.
stress, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Um, one thing I
Uh.
wanted to ask you. Go ahead, man. You got something?
No, I was just going to add on to what you said as far as like, stress could be good or bad. There could be two people, you know, and both be stressed, both have the same situations going on, and one person can be stressed about it, and the next person can come along and say, never even talk about it from a standpoint of being stressed out about it, just being something that they overcame. You know what I mean? I think it's
Exactly.
important to be that second person.
All right. That's beautiful, man. I love that message. Um, so you have a history background with starting off kind of more selling. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Is that something you want to talk about? Like go into
Uh,
like how that started?
yeah, I don't care, man. This shit was like 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. Uh, I feel like for me, man, I probably started, if I had to really attribute to the reason why I probably started selling drugs at any point, would probably be because I was at that turning point in age where it's like, I'm tired of living like I've been living. So I got to do something different. But I just didn't know the best option of what to do next. You know what I mean? Looking back, because when I started, I was probably like 14. You know what I mean? Just selling
Wow.
selling weed here and there. Before it became anything else. That's what it started as. But to somebody like me, I felt stuck, man. I felt stuck, just to be honest. I felt stuck in the situation I was in. So what does a 14-year-old that feels stuck want? They want freedom. And so you look at freedom with, okay, well, you got your drivers, you're gonna get a car soon. You know what I mean? You're about to get that age. What do you need? You need money. How do you get money? No 14-year-old probably knows. Not too many 14-year-olds have good ways of getting money. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just went kind of went the wrong route with that, man. And I seen I seen things I now see as a downfall. I seen them as opportunities back then because I just didn't know any
Yeah.
better, pretty much. Um, but yeah, I remember just like trying to chase freedom, man, trying to get out of the situation in which I was in. And it's, making the wrong decisions. You try to chase freedom out of one situation and end up in jail.
Yeah.
It's not, you got to be smart about the things you do, man. It's just, there's not really anybody educating as far as stuff like that. There's too many promotional things in the other way, versus
Yeah. I think
I think there's a lot more promotional things to do the wrong thing. You know what I mean?
mhm.
It's promoted a lot more versus somebody saying, hold on, I've lived this much of life. Let me teach you this. You know what I mean? We didn't have that.
Yeah.
We didn't have that,
Yeah.
but we cut on the radio and Lou Fo talking about mop sticks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's just
Right.
like,
100%.
right.
100%, dude. And I was just about to say, given in our environment, dude, yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of that guidance, I guess you could say. It wasn't accessible. You had to know somebody who knew somebody type thing.
Yeah,
And I think 100%, so many people can relate to you um when you say that you felt stuck, because I think everybody has been there in life. Some earlier than others, but where we have hit a point where we feel like we just hit a wall. Like we don't know how to overcome that obstacle, right? So we start creating ways when we get come up with easy ways or things that are readily in front of us, like the way I'm assuming like
absolutely.
how you being able to sell marijuana was for you. I guarantee like a lot of us have been in that position where like, dude, I'm this is where I'm at, man, and I want to change, but I don't know how to go about it other than this solution that's right in front of me. So this is the road I got to take. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Unfortunately, sometimes the hardest and the longest route would be the first stop. It'd be the first road sign you see. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's how it was for me anyway. I would have saved a lot of time and been a lot more productive and accomplished a lot more things if I would have just took a different route. You know what I mean? But it's
yeah,
nobody exposed that to me. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
obviously, everybody should have that core knowledge. Don't do dumb things. Dumb things happen when dumb things get done. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But that
Yeah.
we didn't
No,
really
I
think
understand
past
that,
that
but
at
I
14.
yeah, and I understand that, man. But I think like dumb, like when you say dumb things, I think like that's defined differently by everybody. You know what I mean? And plus, what you may call dumb, you may not know my experience or my story for you to judge me on the decisions that I'm making. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's not making an excuse on why somebody does do the things that they do, but you can empathize and relate little bit more if you recognize the journey that somebody has been through and the options that were laid out in front of them at the time. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
When I speak on things like that, saying like dumb things, I think back to myself. You know what I mean? Because
right,
looking back at it now, being a grown man, looking back, to when I was a teenager, it's like, damn, you were dumb for doing that. Now, if you put yourself back in that mind state of where you were, you understand completely why you did it. You know what I
right,
mean? So
yeah,
the people just got to have understanding. That way, you can talk with empathy and try to get actually through to people.
exactly. Like I try to live my life by not judging anybody for what I see, like the position that I see them in at that time. Like for example, if I see a homeless person, my immediately thought is not to judge them because they're homeless, because I don't know how they got to that position and how far they came if they were in an even worse position to be where they are now. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
um for all I know, that person could have been in Forbes top 20. You know what I mean? Made one bad financial decision and lost everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you never know how far somebody has came to judge them to where they are now, because
Right.
I could have been in a way worse spot and you only see me in this um I guess you could say rundown complex that's costing me like maybe $200 a month for rent, and you like, man, like I could never stay there. Like the maintenance is so low or whatever. But you don't know this, but just like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I was sleeping under a bridge or I was in the park. You know what I mean? Like to me, I made it so far, but you're judging me based off of what you see my current situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like, and that's just an example, but that applies to like all life, anything. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, what you see is not always. It's not ever the full story. You know what I mean?
That
They
thousand
could
percent.
that homeless person, for example, you were using, they could be on their way up. You know what I mean? They could have been worse off last week, or they could be on their way down. And it's not, you know what I mean? It's not for us to judge. It's for us to understand. If they, like, the reason I say on their way down is just to give like the flip side view of things. Like, you don't know the pain, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You just see what you see. You don't know what that
exactly.
person's going through, man. They might be fighting and still losing. You know what I mean? It's just,
Exactly. A
but you
hundred
don't see
percent,
all that.
dude. 100%, dude. That's such an insightful thought, bro. Like that's 100%. All right, so um, what helped you get out of the place that you were in when you were using at the time?
So using, I quit. I've been completely sober, no alcohol, no weed, no hard drugs now for right at 2 years. It'll be 2 years this month.
Heck
So
yeah.
yeah, man, September 27th, 26th or 27th of 2 years ago. So 100%, bro. What stopped me from using was God. 1,000%, bro. So I was at a time point in my life where it's just like, or not really in my life, but inside of the addiction, where it's just like, addiction is just a cycle. You know what I mean? Every day's the same thing, and it's all about how deep you look at it. If you want to break out of addiction, if you want to get sober, you have to really like look, you have to separate yourself. Like, okay, I'm here. This is my addiction. Right now I'm living here. But if I can just begin to recognize this person over here that I really am, I can push these traits away. I can see who I am. I can see who I need to be. who I want to be, and who I'm going to become. And you just start working your way immediately. The first thing you should want to do, first thing I did was cut all that off, cut all the addictive traits, everything that I noticed was leading me or had me in that mindset, cut it off, cut people off, whatever, put myself first. You know what I mean? I had the realization that you really got to put yourself first in order to put everybody else first. um, and that right there was one of my hardest things to fight for, or fight through. I'm sorry, to fight through,
Yeah.
because it felt like a selfish thought at first. Like, I got a mama I love to death, kill and die for. You know what I mean? I got a daughter, and same thing. Grandparents, family, friends, love them all, and so it felt kind of selfish to admit to myself, like, hold on, I got to put myself first. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when you're living right and doing the right things, putting yourself first ain't, like no movie scene where it's like, all right, I'm leaving, I'm going to California, live my best life. That ain't what it means. You put your best self for it first. You're chasing your best self. You then become what them people need you to be. You know what I mean? I put my best self first. Now I'm the best father I can be to my daughter. I put my best self
Yeah.
first. I start chasing that. I'm the best son my mama's ever had. You know what I mean? Love my brother to death.
Yeah.
Love my brother to death. I'm just joking. But you know what I mean? Same thing. Like, just that them kind of realizations right there, man. I was stuck in that addiction, cycles happening. It just drags on, man. And it was just like a little wake up point where it's like, pretty much, bro, like, I was like, bro, I've been doing this for like 5 years, bro. Ain't nothing happening, nothing changing. Everybody I know is doing the same thing, been doing the same thing for 5 years. Life ain't getting no better. You know what I mean? I got these people I
Right.
love, these people I care about, and they know a different version of me, and they want me to get back to that version. You know what I mean?
Right.
But here I am thinking, here I am not even recognizing that version of myself anymore because I done lost it. You know what I mean? That's been gone years ago. You know what I mean? And just remembering that and trying to get back to that just constantly. You know what I mean?
I feel you,
Constantly.
man. That's first of all, I want to congratulate you, man, on 2 years, bro. That is such a huge accomplishment.
I appreciate it,
And
bro.
of course, brother. And if you don't mind, man, I'd love for you to explain, um, if you're comfortable with talking about just how challenging it was for you to chase and achieve that person that you were trying to become. Because you talk about the people you had to cut off, and it sounds like your family and uh your found faith in God is kind of what helped you get there. But like, I guess like some people think that like, man, I can cold turkey, I can stop doing this whenever I want to. And I kind of would love for you to elaborate through your experience, just the type of things that made it so challenging for you to become that person, the person you are now.
So the challenging part is when you're still entertaining the idea of being something different. When you're still entertaining the idea of addiction. I quit cold turkey. I now,
Mm.
mind you, when I say cold turkey, that's just like, because I was using fentanyl, you know what I mean? So most people try to tamp it
Wow.
down or all this other stuff, man. I just said, look, this is it. Boom, done. Never turn back. Um, so I quit that cold turkey, man. And the challenges are whenever, like I said, whenever you entertain the idea of that addiction still being alive. Once you decide that that's not what you want anymore, once you decide that this life ain't for me, this is not a good existence, bro. You know what I mean? It's just like, looking back now as a sober person, I look back, that was 6 years I wasted my existence. I did nothing good for nobody. You know what I mean? Once you realize that that's what you're doing, you're not being the fool you, the best you can be. It's easy, man. It was easy for me. Now, I had to fight through thoughts, and I had to think about, you know, damn, I've really been this other person for this long. You know what I mean? Knowing deep down inside I should have been better. You know what I mean? But I was doing what I was doing. That was the hardest part, man. Living with that guilt. That was the hardest part. And
Mm.
I would say probably learning to learning to let it go, in a sense that you no longer feel guilty about it because you're you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, but then at the same time, kind of holding on to it just a little bit so that you never forget like how bad it is, how bad it was for you, how bad it is for other people. Because I don't want to be that person. Like God knows, I don't want to be the person that gets sober and forgets to fight, so that I don't know how to talk to
Yeah.
nobody else. You know what I mean? I want when somebody comes to me, I talk to people all the time. We're in sobriety communities and everything. I want to be somebody that's saying something they understand. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
If I treat myself like just a sober person that ain't ever went through it, then they're not
Yeah.
gonna. It's not gonna ring bells like that.
I love what you said because I think that it happens a lot where people make it out of the hood, for example. Like, yeah, man, I made it. Like, I achieved this dream career. I'm making all of this money, and then they forget, or they try and suppress what it meant to grow up in the hood, the experience that they had in the hood. So then they go back to the hood for whatever reason, and they don't know how to relate. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to connect with the people that they essentially grew up with, right? Like they try to forget about it. And I love that you're saying you hold a little bit of a reminder of yourself to remember the trauma, remember the struggle that you went through, because you can
Right,
share that experience with the people that you're trying to connect with, so you can help change their lives.
right, right. I always keep in mind like what you were saying about like the home, seeing judging people, you see them homeless and all this and that. Like I try to keep in mind like, hey, that was me, and God loves me.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? God loves them right there too. You know what I mean? We just got to
facts.
get them to love themselves. That's where we're at
One
with it.
thousand
You know what
percent.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that.
Right.
I love that, man.
But I think, like I said, there's not really a pamphlet that teaches you exactly how to maneuver everything, situations you're going through. So, for your example, like, growing up in the hood, making it out, with me going through the addiction, making it out, we are the healers. You know what I mean? We are the
Yeah,
ones supposed to be teaching. You know what I mean? We're
yeah,
like, that's it's on
one
us,
hundred
bro.
percent.
It's on
It
us. I
is.
I think I think, in my relationship with God, I think, there's two like black and white rules. You know what I'm saying? Like no color in the middle. It's you don't add evil to people's existence, and you teach the good you have learned. You know what I mean? So that's I try to walk with that. Like, I don't want to be the thing that somebody remembers bad happening. I don't want to be that person.
Right.
And I want to know what I've learned and then be able to help people steer around it and grow to be strong and not to be damaged. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I love that, dude. I love that. I think everybody needs to carry that with them. Those same two
Absolutely.
rules, man. I love it. And you talking about how we need to be the ones um who teach and share that message. You lead me right into my next question, and I was going to ask, like, what ways can we improve the prevention of the use of drugs and alcohol?
Um People got to get serious, man. People got to get serious. You know what I mean? There's nobody talking about the real like the realizations, the real, you know, actions and reactions of that life. You know what I mean? I can go on my vehicle's right there. I can get in there and cut the radio on. Every song I hear is gonna have something negative that is promotional. You know what I mean? We hear that stuff all day, every day. Nobody's gonna walk up to you and be like, "Hey, man, you're not making the right decision. Your mama's gonna be crying soon." You know what I mean? That conversation
Ooh,
don't happen a lot. You know what I mean? I seen my mama cry for me. I've seen my mama cry for my brother. I've seen my mama cry for um, my uncle. You know what I mean? And that means something to me, but to the next man living life trying to navigate, that don't mean a lot. Until
yeah,
they're in that situation, and then it's like, damn, but you here now. You know what I mean? You can't go back and not be here, but you can go forward and not be here again. You know what I'm
yep,
saying? So I think people just need to take things serious. As far as teaching, like I got a 5-year old, and there's things I want to teach her that she's just not ready to know yet. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I know you know, at a certain there's like a certain a correlation point where it's like, you know, we gotta my daughter, obviously I have to like I have to protect her innocence, so I don't teach her everything. She knows we don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't do. She knows the rules. You know what I mean. I teach her why. You know what I mean. But there's I can't. I you know I can't tell her because you going she don't understand. You get drunk, you might kill somebody. You know what I mean. You might wreck the car, kill somebody. I mean
Yeah.
she don't understand the seriousness of that type stuff yet. You know repercussions of things. So
Right.
obviously
Exactly.
I can't go on with that. But at the same time, people got to get serious because if you think for if you got kids in middle school and you're not teaching them the right thing to do, and you think for a second that the world is saving their innocence, is not. The world is gonna lead them in the wrong route if somebody ain't leading them into the right route. So
A hundred percent.
I think people need to love themselves so that way they know how to love other people. And I think people need to care about each other enough to sit down and have conversations. You know what I mean? I
Right.
think
The real conversations. Yeah. The hard
exactly.
ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're 100% right, man. And I think that, man, there's education that talks about it, but more like what you're saying, they don't provide that perspective, that deep, true perspective that you can only know by going through those hard things. There's not enough people. You don't see much of the people that have gone through those bad things. Those aren't the things that are like going viral on social media. You know what I mean? Those aren't the like because social media could be such a great educational tool, right? And getting those people that have went through those hardships, having those people come become more of create more of like a platform where they are heard seriously because
Right.
those things are kind of more in local communities. I feel like you have like those leaders that impact that small area, and I think that's great. I think that's exactly what we need. But in the age of the internet and social media, so much more of these stories could be heard and could have a more impactful meaning on other people's lives to prevent other people from like entertaining it. You know what I mean? For partaking in those things, drugs, alcohol, partying, whatever it is. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just think that maybe I want to rush the process and the process meant to be done slowly. But I feel like if I feel like the earlier we can touch people, the better. But that just kind of reminds me of what you just said. You wanting to teach your daughter things that she just doesn't understand, and
Right. And
that's
I
the same way how I feel about my son.
right. Teach them things that they don't understand and pray that they never do. You know what
A
I mean?
hundred percent.
That's how it's
Yeah.
where I'm at with it. Yeah, I think man, the internet could be such a good thing. You know what I mean? It really could. It really
Hmm.
could. Unfortunately, we spam social media with just nonsense. You know, stuff that's no good. Watching TikTok reels. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just not educational at all. It's not real life. Um, I think, unfortunately, what I think it takes, man, is I think it takes somebody that's been through it that can teach people around them, and the people that they're trying to teach has to have some type of connection to that person. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because if I just go out and find some random person, I might say some things that ring a bell, and they're like, "Oh, I need to listen." I might say some things he's like, they don't know what he's talking about. I mean, they don't know.
Hmm.
But you teach somebody that has that connection with you, I think it just should trick down. I think it could trickle down.
Yeah. A hundred
It's gonna
percent.
take the people that care. It's gonna take us talking.
That leads to me asking you like, what is your approach? Because I know you're active in Salisbury with a lot of your close friends and loved ones. Um, what is your approach whenever you're talking to somebody that's struggling with addiction of any kind?
Um, I feel like first step is definitely openness. Um, Pretty much let me know everything about you. Not and don't think for a second I'm gonna judge you, but I just need to understand. I think a lot of people, and it's something has to click in a person's brain. I feel like and you can try to push the buttons to make it click, but like for me during my active addiction, there was 5 years nothing was clicking. There was no like doing better. There was no thinking better, nothing like that. So I think whenever you sit down with somebody, you gotta get them to that point to where okay, boom, they realize they've been pretty much just walking life and not being impactful in a good way. You got to get them to realize what they've been doing and where they should be. I always
Right.
tell people to kind of help push that button. I always tell people, look, this is what you need to do. If you're in active addiction, you don't know your first step, you need to make you need to get two pieces of paper. First piece of paper, write down everything bad that's happened because of your addiction to yourself, your family, loved ones, friends around you, people people you use with, whatever, on an emotional level, on a physical level, on a spiritual level. How are you feeling versus how you think most people are feeling? You know what I mean? Like how you should be feeling. You write all that down, you get it out there, and then on the second piece of paper, you write down everything good that you should be, how you should be feeling. Oh, I should be close with my mom. We shouldn't have this, there shouldn't be a distance between us. But unfortunately, I've let drugs in between us. Now, I stay away or blase, whatever it is. And you write down everything good that you should have,
Yeah.
with friends, family, like I said, emotional, spiritual level, uh, physical level, where, your living situation is this, but for sure you should be at least to this point, and you keep them two pieces of paper. And when you look at them, you're looking at addiction. You know what I mean? When you look at them, you're looking at, okay, I got this. I should have this. Why don't I have this? And why do I have this? Boom. It's addiction. That's why you ain't got it. You ain't got it
I
because
love
you
that,
didn't.
dude.
You ain't got it because you didn't realize that them little steps you was taking was leading you to this one when you should have had this one. And now you gotta double down and take the steps to get to what you need to have, what you should
Yeah.
have, what you deserve to have, the life you deserve to be living.
I love that, man. I love that exercise that you ask them to do because it's something tangible. It's something they can see. It's like a therapy tactic. You know what I mean? Like a therapist tactic. So that's something that they can always look at and compare and contrast and know,
Right.
and they see the problem and know that there's work to be done to get to where they want to be. I love that, dude.
Right. Addiction inside of an addict's mind is pretty much invisible. You know what I mean? They just at a certain point you just think that that's what life is. You know what I mean? You don't realize
Mm,
everything, the whole world going on around you, and you're the only one feeling like this. You know what I mean? But your family feels a certain way because you're feeling like this, or the people around you. You've created gaps in relationships and stuff like that, man. It's not how it's supposed to be. But people don't realize that because that's the last thing on a person's mind when they're an addict. You know what I mean? You're not thinking that deep. You're not getting into that. So that exercise right there, I try to use that to wake people up. You know what I mean? Wake people up to the seriousness of it, and start trying to, that way they can kind of separate themselves. Like I was saying earlier, separate yourself from the addicted you, the one that is active in addiction, and the one that you should be living. You know what I mean? You separate yourself, you can start walking back.
yeah, man. Thank you for sharing that perspective, man, because that's something that I never thought about. So that's
Absolutely.
that's deep. That's deep right there. In your opinion, man, how do we become better in lower income areas on educating what addiction is and the abuse of drugs and alcohol?
Be hard to tackle a whole city, man, but somebody's gonna have to start teaching. Somebody's gonna have to break away and say, hey, look, you know, everything that glitters ain't gold. It's presented as
Yeah.
gold. It's not that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Like, and to me, I guess like my thought process would be like, well, how about we start in the schools, right? Like,
Right.
because all kids have to go to school, regardless of what type of community they come from, and it doesn't. I just don't see it being that hard financially for you to bring in people that have experienced addiction, or um you to pull up a slideshow or pull up a YouTube video or something of what drunk driving looks like, things like that. You know what I mean? Start early, so kids can start understanding that, like, being under the influence, their mind being under any type of influence, is harmful to themselves and others around them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I remember when we were in middle school. That's the only time we had any type of drug education was in like a 2 week health class or something.
Yeah,
And
yeah, we did do that.
1 week was spent on like sex and reproductive organs and all that, and 1 week was spent on
Drugs,
drug
100%.
education. I think it should definitely be more. It's too big of a problem to only get a week. You know what I mean?
Yo, 1,000%.
You're talking about a lifelong problem that's generations
Mm-hmm.
deep, and you just want to treat it like it's just something little. Like, no, these kids ain't gonna grow up to be that, man. Yeah, they are. You know what I mean? If they don't know better, yes, they
Yeah,
are. That's what's gonna happen.
for real, for
Not to
real.
everybody, but you know what I mean. It's not. That's the next generation. So yeah, you're right. You got
Yeah,
to start. You got to start educating for sure. I think because I've had this thought process before. Like, how could I change the whole entire world? You know what I mean?
mhm,
I've had that thought before, and
yeah,
it's gonna take at least one or two generations on the same exact mindset. Okay, we're allowing this, we're not allowing this, and we know why. And let's teach the younger ones why. I feel like the second or third generation that gets taught why, I feel like this shit's gonna be a thing of a past, man. It's not, you know what I mean?
yeah, a
You talk
thousand
to
percent, man.
you talk to somebody that's been through it, bro. You're not gonna leave with a reason to go do something bad. It don't matter the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you talk to somebody that went through addiction and they're sober, after that conversation, the last thing you're gonna be thinking of is, oh, I should go do this. No, you just heard why not to. You know what I mean? You just
hmm,
talk about somebody that went through gang life and made it out. And it's then you're not gonna be thinking about why to join it. You know what I mean? You're gonna be thinking about why to take you and your homeboys and get the fuck away. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yep,
it goes for
exactly.
really anything, man. So I just think people need to realize that if you're not teaching something good, somebody's gonna get taught something bad. You're the one that has the power to fight it.
Yeah, the difference starts with you. It starts with you, and I know that to some people that may feel like a lot of weight to carry on their shoulders, but it's weight that everybody should carry on their shoulders. Is that you should be the difference for somebody else's life, and that's the truth.
Absolutely. That's honor.
Yeah, man.
That's
Yeah,
honor. You
exactly.
get one
That
life.
pressure is a privilege.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. That's a amen. You hear me?
Yeah.
Amen, baby.
That
Yeah,
pressure is a privilege. Yeah.
absolutely.
Man. And I want to ask you some questions about like everything that you started since getting sober. But I first want to give you your flowers, man, dude. Like 2 years is a fantastic accomplishment, man, and I'm proud of you alone for that. And I love this shirt. I
Absolutely.
told I told Garrett I love the shirt. And that's his design, man. That's his
Yes,
design. That's
sir.
his shirt.
Sober, you would love it here, baby.
I'm telling you, man. So I want to give you your flowers to that, man. And I feel like I owe you an apology because in middle school I did not know that you were going through a lot of the challenges that you were going through, man. And being a kid, I feel like is an excuse for not checking in with a friend, 100%. And we can't go back and change it now, brother. But you, like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, man, our relationship, it means so much to me. It meant so much to me then, just because you were there for me, and I hate that I feel like I wasn't there for you in that same token.
Oh man, come on now. You know it's all love. Come on now.
I know that,
Hey,
man.
we
I
was
know,
just good.
man.
We was just good kids being good people, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah, for
saying?
real.
There was no way for me to know what you was going through, no way for you to know what I was going through, man. We just good kids being good people. Here we are.
I love that, man.
You know what I'm
Here we
saying?
are, bro. Yes, man. And let's talk about what you've been doing since being sober. And I uh Garrett has started his own fencing business with his brother.
Yes,
So
sir.
I would love for you to talk about that, man. Like what was it? What was it like starting it? Where you guys at now? And what's the goal with it?
Starting it, boy, we was broke. Boy, we was broke. My landlord was hating me, but nah. So pretty much, man, this is what it came to. One of the pretty much the main reason that I had to do something for myself was, I got my daughter. She's turning 5. Or she just turned 5. But when I was thinking this, she'll be 5 soon, within the next year or so. She's gonna be going to kindergarten, and me and her mom ain't together, so it's not, when I have her for a week, it's my responsibility. Is straight. I got to get there. Got to make sure she get back. So I knew for her school don't start till 8:30 in the morning, and it's 30 minutes away. Nobody,
Yeah.
nobody's paying you to show up at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no job for somebody with the skill traits that I know. There's no blue collar job saying, yeah, sure, get here at 9, and it's okay if you leave at 3. It's not happening.
Yeah.
So pretty much this one, I used to work at an asphalt plant, and I quit from there, and I just knew I had to get it on my own. And certain skills that my dad, because my dad owns a grading company, and so I worked with him growing up and stuff, and there's certain skills that he taught me. And I was just thinking, what is it something that what's something I can apply these skills to? Because like I could 100% go grade stuff right now, but I don't have the cash flow to go buy them machines. You know what I mean? So I got to start smaller scale. Did have the cash flow to buy, to front up the money to get us, get started with the machines and tools we need to start a defense company. So me and my brother were just brainstorming, and he was like, I don't remember if it was him or me, but he was like, "What about fences, man?" And I said, "Look, bro," my exact words, I'll never forget it. I said, "Look, if somebody gave me 10 grand right now to build a fence, that shit gonna get built." Like straight up. That's exactly how it went, bro.
Uh,
Look, we filed that day. We got the LLC, we got the business insurance, we got the license. You know what I mean? We've been building
I
fences
love
ever
it.
since.
I love it. Wasn't playing no games. Got to it.
No, can't, bro. Like
I
I
love that,
had built
man.
a couple fences and stuff like that in the past. You know what I mean? But it's just like having the knowledge to do it. It's not that hard. You just gotta know basic stuff and know a little bit of mathematics and stuff like that. So I was just 100% confident in that moment. I was 100% confident in being able to do it.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, bro, when that first client handed us that money, I got nervous, bro. Hey, but we pulled it off, bro. We've been growing, bro. We've done we probably done close to 70,000 this year in business. So we've been growing, bro.
Wow. Congratulations, man. That's
Yes, sir.
huge. That
Yes,
is
sir.
huge, man. Damn, I love that for you, man. So where's the vision at? Where's the goal?
Oh, so the vision. So I feel like I'm a little bit more realistic with it than my brother. My brother is pretty
Yeah.
much hey man, let's sub this out. We don't have to do nothing. We just gotta quote it and we'll get paid. We'll have another crew come build it and we'll pay them, and you know what I mean, they'll make this and we'll make that. And I'm just like, man, I can't, we're trying to build a business. I feel like I gotta be out there. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be able to
Yeah.
see it. I gotta walk through it step by step. So for me, man, I'm trying to get a crew up. I've got me, my brother, and like one or two other guys. I really need like another 3 because work's
Mm.
coming in, and it's just like, you get 5, 6 jobs lined up in a row. That shouldn't be but 3 weeks, and it's taking us a month, maybe 5 weeks to get 5 jobs done. And it shouldn't be going that slow. And, unfortunately, here in North Carolina, it does get cold coming up.
Yeah.
So, you want to go ahead and get every job done you can. So that way when the winter months come up, and people still get fences in the winter, but it's not top thing on your mind. You know what I mean? You're not stepping outside in the
Yeah.
sun talking about, damn, I wish I could, let the grandkid out. I ain't got a fence though. Summertime
Yeah.
it's a little bit slower. So I want to get another crew together so we can go do that. And then pretty much, I wrote a song the other day, and I said, I just want to make my money, make some money. In the end, bro, I want my
Yeah.
money to make money so that I don't have to just be worried about the rent no more. I can spend my time with my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be out here grinding to give it to a landlord, bro. I want that to be covered,
100%.
and I'm gonna love mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love that.
That's
That's
where we going
100%.
with it.
I try to be there too, man. I try to be there too.
Swear, bro. Hey, we gonna get there,
Well,
bro. We still
are.
young, kinda. We gonna get there.
Yeah. Hey, look, at deep talk, hey, we just got to be patient, man. We got to be patient. But
Patient,
yeah, man.
consistent, bro. That's it.
Of course, that's it. The two keys right there. Well, I love that for you, man. That is great, man. To have been where you were and to have transformed it and made something so positive out of it, man. Dude, you don't even know, man. I love that for you, bro. I love that
Absolutely.
for you.
The end goal, bro, is I want to like really own my own sober community, like sober franchise, bro. That's the end goal. I've done the numbers for it. I've got probably a stack of paper like this with research I've done, notes I've taken, building plans. You know what I mean? Mission statements, everything. But boy, I read them numbers for it, bro, and it was like for 1 year, between salaries with staff and stuff it takes, and just commercial properties, leases, stuff like that, bro. It was like 900 something a year. So I said,
Ooh,
hey,
ooh,
we got
ooh,
to get
ooh.
rich in the meantime so we can fund
Yeah,
that. You know what I mean? That's the
exactly.
plan. That's the plan, bro. So
I love that, dude.
that's really what the fencing's getting to. That's what I'm trying to make. That's why I want my money to make some money so I can spend it. I'll never be rich. I can make $1 million, $1 billion. I'll never be rich. I'm gonna keep giving it back, teaching
I love
education.
that.
That's the goal. We just got to get there. You know what I mean? So
Yep. Yeah, I love that, man. I was just about to ask you that. So it's funny you took the words right out of my mouth, man. But I do want to ask you, man, before we get to the conclusion questions, what would your message, like your final thought, be for those who are struggling with addiction?
God, I would say, see, I know that's God's the answer, man. But you gotta know God in order to get through it. So I would say, love, protection, fulfillment, and pride. That's how you get there. You gotta love yourself. You gotta love God and know God. That way you know how to love yourself. Then you can love everybody
Yeah,
else. Because if you don't know that love, you don't know the love to give. The protection, you gotta know the protection you've got. You gotta protect yourself from other things in this world. Knowing better, doing better. You gotta protect yourself, and that way you can get the best protection, the best knowledge to protect to other people. Fulfillment, man. We need to get this place right here as close to heaven as we can. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's our goal,
yeah,
bro. That's what I want. You know what I mean? So I
yeah,
feel like we got to fulfill ourselves with, just not falling into things we know ain't good, and chasing the things we know are good, staying obedient to it, not always not knowing exactly where something's going to lead, but the route to take it, route to take, take that route and you'll see where you're going to get. And then, of
yeah,
course, pride, man. You got to be proud of yourself. And if you're not proud of yourself, there's a reason why. Think long enough, you'll cry and you'll figure out why, and then pursue it. Get there. Be proud of yourself. This is our existence, bro. You know what I mean? This is what we
yeah.
got right now. So you got to take it. You got to do something with it.
You only get one life.
That's a fact.
I
That's a
love that,
fact.
man. I love that. All right, brother. So we're gonna get to our conclusion questions real quick, man. So let me know when you're ready, brother.
Go ahead.
All right. All right. What is something that you are working to add or subtract from your lifestyle and or mindset?
Lifestyle and or mindset. Um, add. I think I need to add a little bit more patience. I think, truth be told, bro, I think when I started living my life right, I had nothing going on but the simple want to get there. You know what I mean? And now that I've got there, I don't want to, like, I've got there, I've got my family around me. I love them to death, you know, and now I'm trying to focus on growing this business. And I want to not put that on the back burner, but, you know, be able to mentally separate it. Like, I
Yeah.
know my family comes first. I go to work for my family. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I want to, you know, just more mentally, you know, be able to clear that out and separate that. You know what I mean? But it's hard, man. You get so busy. You know, you get so busy, so much going on. You feel like if you don't go do this for work, then you're shorting out on your family because you know they need it. But then again, that don't even really matter because what matters really is the time spent. So then you want to go back here, you know, and I'm just trying to find that balance. You know, trying to
Yeah.
find that patience, that balance to really be able to get myself right with that. Something I want to subtract, man. If I show you, I gotta do it, bro. I want to quit vaping so bad, dog. I want to quit vaping so bad, bro. Look, bro, I've been
Uh,
vaping. I've been vaping for like 2 years. Not even maybe just a year, like a year, because I wasn't really vaping like that when I got sober. But pretty much I went to jail, man, and I came home like last beginning of last year, and
yeah.
it was I never forget, bro. I got out and I didn't have no clothes, nothing, and my dad gave me a pair of his pants or whatever. I pulled $5 bill out the pants pocket. Went and bought a pack of cigarettes because I've been locked up for like 7 months. You know what I mean? I wasn't supposed to say. I've
Yeah.
never turned back, bro. I need to stop, dog. I need to quit vaping. It's not me. I like to breathe. You know what I'm saying? So, and
I feel you, man.
it's just a fight, bro. Because every time I start thinking about it, I'm like, damn, bro. You know, you used to do fentanyl. You know what I mean? It's just a vape, but then at the same time, it's like, damn, bro, it's just your lungs. I'm saying, like, you
Yeah.
need to get real. Like, this is real shit.
Yeah.
Stop. Like,
I feel you, man. 100%. I see
swear.
it's vaping, and it's been on the climb here in the past recent years. So it's something that I think a lot of people recognize. Like, man, I need to stop, but it's just hard. Fortunately for me, it's like I tried it, and then I joined the army, and we had to do so much running, bro. Like
That's
I was just like, I gotta stop. I gotta
that's what
stop
I was
because
about
I
to
can't.
say, bro. What I was about to say, man. I just started going back to the gym a couple days ago. Hey,
Yeah.
week. That thing gonna have to come to a halt, dog.
It
Ain't
will.
no way.
If you keep running, I promise, bro. The more you run, the quicker you'll be to put it down. Because you'll be like, nah, I
Absolutely.
can't. I can't do it. All right.
Absolutely.
Second question: what is happiness to you, and where does it come from?
All right, happiness. Let's see. Happiness to me, bro, is the opportunity and the knowledge to have my family, and while having them in my life, while being here, while having that blessing, knowing what to do with it. That right there makes me happy,
Mm,
bro. There was years where I had everybody around me, bro, and I didn't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
wow.
I didn't have a clue, bro. And now it's like, man, I'll take this. I'll take this every day, bro. I'll go to war with the
Yeah.
world about the people I got around me, bro. I just want to love them. You know what I mean? I want to mean something to them. I want them to know what they mean to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to think about death. You know what I mean? I don't, bro. Got family close. You know that's gonna be guilt when stuff like that does happen, bro. So I know that guilt's gonna come back up because I know I should have had 6 more years with them from when I was messing up for 5, 6 years type deal. But you know, it's just that's happiness, bro. Just knowing that I got my family, knowing my family knows I got them, and knowing that God's got us. That's all I need,
I love that.
right
I
there.
love that, man. I think
That's
the
it.
key to what you said is like being in that moment and knowing what to do with it. And that
Swear.
to me, that spoke to me right there, man, because it reminds me of these song lyrics that Zach Bryan had said in one of his songs. I can't remember. But essentially the message was, um, how are you supposed to know that you're in the good moments, in the good times, if you only recognize that it was good when you're looking back at them? Like you don't know
Right.
it in that present moment that, man, you know what, where I'm at right now, this is a good time. I need to celebrate this, like savor this sweet taste of just being in a good space right now. Because
Absolutely.
whenever the bad does come, then you'll look back at it and be like, man, you know what? I didn't appreciate that time when everything was going right. You know what I mean? So just
Absolutely.
knowing to be present and to just enjoy knowing what to do at the right time, man. I think that was beautiful what you just said, brother.
Absolutely. Being present and being in tune with yourself, man. It's
Exactly.
great.
All right. Third question. What is something you know now that you would tell your younger self?
Oh man. Something I know now I would tell my younger self. I would probably say I would probably say to trust yourself more. I would probably say to trust yourself more, bro, because I feel like growing up, you got so many different type of influences coming in and out of life, and sometimes like you want to be this, what I mean, but it's frowned upon, or you want to be this, so you think it's, you're not gonna be the cool kid at lunch, like that whole idea. If I could go back,
Yeah.
I don't remember having them thoughts, but I know for a fact that them influences was there, and if it's the
Yeah.
same for everybody, and I wish I could just go back and be like, hey man, look, ain't nobody around you got the way. You know what I mean? Think for yourself and you'll find it. That's what I would probably say. It's okay to be yourself. Can't nobody else be you. You shouldn't want to be nobody else. So just love yourself, bro.
I
Go
love
hard.
that.
Yeah,
I love that, man. Love yourself, man. That's like that remind me of J. Cole when he made Love Yours. No such thing as
absolutely.
a life that's better than yours.
Swear it's
I
not.
love that answer.
It's not, bro.
I feel you, Gary. Gary got on here preaching, boy. He had something.
Man,
He
I
had
love
something
it,
to
bro.
say. He had something on his chest.
I just want people to love themselves, man. We get
A
one
hundred
life,
percent.
bro.
100%, man. All right. Question number 4. Who is a role model to you, and why are they?
Role model to me. Um, I don't really have a specific one role model. Um, I would say like the person growing up, person I honestly I loved the most was my grandpa, my papa, because he's just always so nice. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
nice. But now now that I'm a grown man, obviously I still love him to death. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I try to take I just try to take the good out of everything. You know what I mean? You have interactions with people you might have never met them. It might be your family member. You know what I mean? You see the good in what they saying. They might say something that you could take. They don't even mean it how you took it, but you could take it and apply it. They could say something bad. You could or not say something bad, but be entertaining something that's not positive. You could take it, apply it, and just try to learn from everybody else.
100%.
Just
And
I don't know.
I live by that. I live by that because you never know who you're going to come across and what, and this person may mean it in that way or not, but what your interaction with that person will mean to you or what you will mean to them. And that's something I live by, just trying to come into people's lives. And like you, I got that I want to help everybody, right? I got that same
Right.
idea, that same complex. Um, but I want to be, if I'm going to come into a part of your life, I really just want to be a positive influence in your life, in your experience. And it may not be that way for everybody, um, but I'm gonna try. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's something that I also live by, man. I hope
Absolutely.
y'all listening. Whoever's watching this, I hope y'all listening because Garrett is dropping gems right here. He is dropping gems.
Trying to, bro.
All right. Final question. It's a two-part question. I'm gonna start with the first one. How do you plan on impacting the world?
How do I plan on impacting the world? I guess the first easiest and obvious answer, bro, would be God. I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people know God loves them, or they have that idea, but I don't think a lot of people know. There's a difference between knowing God loves you and worshiping God, listening, following them orders, you know what I mean, type deal. And so I just want to try to educate people on who God is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Telling them that love, protection, fulfillment, and pride. You know what I mean? If you want to know how to worship God, you can learn how to love yourself, bro. Try to look at yourself through how God sees you. That'll flip your
Yeah.
whole world upside down, bro.
Yeah. I
For
love
real.
that. I love
So
that.
that's what I want to do. I want to teach people that.
It'll change your entire perspective of what you're doing, how you view yourself, everything, man. I believe that. All right. Second part. What is your contribution to your current relationships?
Contribution towards my relationships. I'm trying to contribute a lot of honesty and trust. I don't want to ever walk away from a conversation. I always say misunderstood intentions is a domino effect. So I always try to talk clearly so that we're on the same page. I don't ever want to walk away from a conversation or a situation and them think something different than what's really going on.
Right.
I've had encounters where you wouldn't believe. I'm just over here trying to help people. You wouldn't believe this shit. But
Yeah.
so just like with my family, I think it's important because I wasn't a trustworthy person for so long, and but I was still me. So like it was weird because I just wouldn't come around, and I know it's messed up, but I didn't want them to see me as that. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to leave that impression. You know what I'm saying? So now that I'm better,
Yeah.
now that I've done healed and started living my life right, I want to do the opposite, bro. Like I want when you talk to me, I want you to know it's genuine. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. You ain't gotta. You might think about somebody else like that. What they really thinking. They staking this, blah blah blah. Ain't none of that. You know what I mean? I mean what I
Yeah.
say, and I just oh shit about that. Uh,
That's all right. We're about to wrap it up here.
yeah, just honesty, genuine. Truth. Love, man, like respect. You know what I mean? I feel like all that falls into respect. If you respect somebody, you're not gonna lie to them. If you respect somebody, you're not gonna mislead them. You're not gonna be anything to what you say you are to them. You give them that
Right.
truth. So I want people to know I respect their existence.
I love that, dude. I love that. I respect you and love you enough for just being human. And
Right,
that's all the reason I need, just because you're another human.
right. God loves you. Who am I to not? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
A
Like,
thousand percent.
got
Yeah.
to.
I love that, man. And man, I gotta tell you, bro, it was such a pleasure having you on the show, man. And 100%, dude. I'm very grateful for you to come on here and speak your truth and be so vulnerable, because I think it's something hard for every guest that I had come on here and do. And I can just imagine how difficult it was, or maybe it wasn't, because you're so open with it now. But I just love that you came on here, you were vulnerable, and you shared your experience with not only me but to so many strangers, bro. And I love you for
Absolutely.
that, bro.
Oh yeah, I love you too, bro. I love you for giving people the opportunity, man. Most people don't think of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Most people don't go out there and buy the equipment, and make the connections and send the invites to people to do
yeah,
what you're doing, bro. And you're out here doing it, man. I just seen you posted one today.
I
I
did.
shared it today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I just seen that, bro. Like you're out here
yeah,
doing it,
man.
man. So
Thank you, man.
that's
Thank
great,
you.
bro.
Thank you, man. I wanted to create a platform, but it's funny. I think we both see each other doing the hard parts. I think we both see each other doing the hard parts, but I think what you did was so hard, man, and it was just so true, and it was so real, bro. And I don't know Garrett Woodward to be any other way, you know.
Got to.
So yeah, brother. So we're gonna wrap it up here, man. Always, you can always hit my line, brother. We can always do this again. Camera, no camera, bro. I'm telling you, bro. We brothers for real. So I love you,
Absolutely.
bro.
I love you too, bro.
All right, guys. Well, I'm Jabri Cowan. That's my boy Garrett.
Yes, sir.
And this is Uncomfortable Conversations.